Oops, I'm definitely not late. Alright, this is what I get for starting a stream on such short notice. I don't even notice the time passing myself. Hello, so this stream will, speaking of short, this stream will be short, hopefully, because I have plans with friends, as I normally do on Saturday days now. Blame my friend that lives in Germany. Hello. Oh, my chat isn't updating. Good, oh, good job, YouTube. Good job, YouTube. So, give me a second. I'm gonna set a timer here. You can watch Sethos drink water. I'm gonna set a timer for an hour and a half. I can go a little bit past an hour and a half, to be clear. But an hour and a half is when, like, hey, I need to consider ending the stream. So, got the timer set. Let me refresh my YouTube chat, because the YouTube chat is just immediately broken. I'm not seeing anything refresh. You're literally right on time, indeed. Alright, welcome. So, I made a mistake, right, on... if you read the pinned comment on my Sethos video, it's basically what I'm going to be discussing here, but I wanted to make a separate stream about it quick. I'm actually gonna be testing it here a little bit to try to figure out how this feels. But basically, I just thought, like, when I was seeing less damage from some of Sethos' charge attacks, right? I wish there was an enemy here, but apparently it's not going to respawn. When I was seeing less damage from some of Sethos' charge attacks, let's go find something to schmack so I can get some energy. Hello. I thought, like, I was, running, well, okay, I thought it was causal, and this is, Cloud Retainer's here just for overworld traversal. This is not a plunge Sethos team. So, like, when I was doing, like, VV on, or whatever else, right? I thought there was a buff that ran out when I was seeing, Sethos' charge attack damage swap. So, it was doing, oh, didn't even, alright. So, when I was doing 1, 2, 3, and then, doing a skill again, doing another 3 shots, well, his passive, unfortunately has this line here, wherein either 5 seconds or after 4 of his shadow piercing shots, so that's specifically his normal attack charge level 2, or sorry, his charge shot level 2, right, the Spiral Galaxy charge shot aiming mode. Not the normal attack burst playstyle. This 700% EM buff runs out, right? That's why when I was consistently in the video when I was doing 6 charge attack sequences, you would see me do 4 charge attacks, and then those 4 would be like, wow, like 50k damage, 60k damage, or whatever, right? And then the 5th and 6th charge attack were much less. Dog is barking outside. Would his plunges be Electro? No. They would be physical damage. Do not do plunge Sethos. Well, okay, well, don't let me stop you if you really want to do plunge Sethos, I guess. So, basically that turns the optimal playstyle. So I basically thought that, like, as far as, like, feel time requirements and feel of play went, just doing the 6 charge attack spam playstyle was what felt good to me versus trying to mix in his burst. But because of the fact that he loses that damage, right, when you lose the 700% EM from his charge attacks from this passive, the scaling is just the 266 attack and 255 EM at level 11 here, right? Which makes it worse, right? This is a level 11, 250 has 257 EM scaling versus, like, this, which will have higher EM scaling. It basically, it's going to be better just on the baseline of his own damage contribution to do his burst normal attack playstyle, right? So doing what I mentioned in the video, doing this, you still do a high ER build like this, right? In fact, for testing this, we'll switch back to Slingshot and the other circlet, the same build I had in the video. I was playing around with Hunter's Path on him to see how much better it is. It's a little bit better, surprisingly. It also requires taking my Tighnari's stuff, so, anyways, there's the Hunter's Path build. Wait, I thought I had more crit rate than that on this. No, that makes sense. Never mind. Okay, so basically, right, what we're gonna do is we're gonna test out trying to do the same high ER playstyle, right? Using an ER timepiece with Slingshot here, right? And you could do the same thing on Fab. Fab might make this next playstyle even easier again, but we'll switch weapons if we need to. I'm going to try to keep the same weapon that I had in the video most of the time. Did I actually finish the Sealy? I didn't, because it's right there. Where's the Sealy? There it is. And what I think the optimal sequence is, as far as playing him properly, and this is what I would have focused the video on, right? And that's why I'm making this stream right now, because I would have focused the video a little bit differently in that I would have focused on trying to optimize my play for his hybrid playstyle. And it's going to look something like, you know, do your setup, right? Like, do your Dendro, do your whatever, do your supports, switch to Sethos, do his E, and then I think it's probably better to do his burst first. So do E into Q, catch the particles that you get from his... Actually, no, you do Q into E because he generates energy immediately. He has two parts of the energy he gets from his skill. One is that he generates energy immediately as soon as his skill hits, right? So watch his energy. Actually, no, it takes a second. Oh. Does it say it takes a second? I thought it was immediately. Okay, see, another thing I made a mistake on. Well, I don't think I actually said that in the video. Sethos recovers a certain amount of elemental energy. Oh, it has to trigger a reaction. I forgot. Yep. Here, let's... Alright, there we go. Now it's quickened. Yeah. Okay, well, and then, you know, whatever. Run away from them for a second. He directly gets energy as soon as he casts his skill. So I think an optimal rotation, at least the first rotation, right, because he starts with energy, right, at the start of a rotation, would start with him doing burst into... here, let me show this. The reason I think this is optimal is because his burst has a cooldown, right? So if you use his burst playstyle, it does have a cooldown, but while it's on cooldown, you can still consume the energy that you get to be able to do extra charge attacks, right? So you can do burst into charge attacks, or you could do charge attacks into burst. But if you do charge attacks into burst, then you're spending, you know, 5 seconds on field with him, or from more seconds, or more than that. You know, you do like 3 charge attacks, do his skill, and then do his burst, versus doing burst and then 3 charge attacks, right? Which is better. I think the burst and then into charge attacks is better because of the fact that it makes sure his cooldown is back properly. If you do charge attacks into burst, I think his cooldown might not line up with like other stuff you got going on in the team. But let me demonstrate what I'm talking about here. So I'm gonna do some quicken on them. All right. And then 1, 2, 3, right? That's the idea with the rotation now, right? And I don't know, I didn't actually count how many normal attack sequences I got out there, but the ideal, right, on paper, which I think should be pretty doable with just a little bit of optimization. There is potentially more optimization even past this, but this burst and charge attack playstyle should be notably better. It can trigger more reactions, get more aggravates, and more damage out of Sethos, basically. And okay, let's just... I'm stuck. I can't... Okay. Game. Basically, though I think this does potentially make his energy needs a little bit higher. But we'll see how that actually runs when I'm, you know, actually fighting tanky enemies. But basically, how much ER right now? He has 184. So I have like 2 ER rolls there. I think 3 there. 1 in the goblet, right? And then ER timepiece is the most notable thing here. You could achieve the most simple way to achieve this, though, if you don't have decent ER and substats from your pieces, is to do Fab Bow. Yeah, there's a couple nuances, though, with this burst playstyle. Burst into whatever charge attack playstyle. One is that I think it actually makes it less necessary to do 4-piece Thundering Fury on him. Like, you could do 4-piece Golden Troop, and then in the downtime for his skill, you could, like, reset your Kirara quicken application, right? So that's one of the main problems with this playstyle, the burst, is that you're spending a long enough field time on him that you were probably going to like run out of quicken, because quicken lasts 8 seconds. Have I tried the event bow on him? No, it's basically just worse than slingshot, like a lot worse than slingshot. So, yeah, like this bow is okay, but like it's a 4-star bow that will cost more resources to level, like as far as resin for the ascension materials, right? Than slingshot would, and doesn't give crit, and should give him less damage numbers. Like, it would be better, maybe, it might be better for him in the context of, like, with Furina Baiju, like I did in the video, wherein you're doing quick bloom damage and having the higher EM from this weapon versus the slingshot build, might make it better. But, like, I think only in that context specifically. If your goal is to see the highest charge attack damage number from Sethos, use slingshot. So like an aggravate playstyle especially, right? Anyways, so that's what we need to test here is trying to like figure out how this feels. And if you get, right, so the charge attack playstyle, right, doing 6 charge attacks, 6 of these attacks that I was doing before, factoring in that Sethos would do 2 skills per rotation, was getting 8 aggravates, right? On paper, right, haven't actually tried to optimize playing this yet. On paper, and that's notable, that means like 8 triggers of like Fischl C4, right? Or Fischl C4, Fischl's A4, her passive. So that's a decent amount of damage, and that's like a big part of why like doing the extra charge attacks was still valuable, regardless of losing the passive bonus in my video, right? It's because he was still like, the whole team's damage performance wasn't just completely dying just because Sethos' passive wasn't working, right? It was just it was a relatively small loss in team DPS. But there's a way to just increase the team DPS further with the burst, the hybrid burst and charge attack playstyle, right? And on paper, compared to like the 8, right, doing 2 instances of skills and then 6 charge attacks, that's 8 aggravates. You should be able to get 12, I think, which is a lot more. Like his damage output should be noticeably better doing the burst charge attack playstyle, the hybrid playstyle, versus just the charge attack spam playstyle. And that was my main mistake, right? So we're going to test that here, though. It's not without its downsides, because, you know, now you have to configure the team to hopefully have, like this would push the team, for example, towards Baiju, in my mind, because of, one, Baiju still gets a little bit of interruption resistance, but Baiju is doing his off-field application, which would make it a lot easier to just, you know, use Sethos in this burst charge attack way to like re-enable quicken without having to swap off of him, right? But it might be worth swapping off of him anyways, in like trying to reset Fischl or whatever, like between doing 3 charge attacks and his burst. I am not 100% sure how it's going to exactly play out, but I think it is possible, it is fairly possible to do 3 charge attacks and a burst in a rotation without that insane of ER, right? Like, this is not that insane of amount of an ER build, right? Like, it's just mostly an ER timepiece and then a little bit of ER in substats. And I don't even think this amount of ER is necessary, because I've been playing around with the Hunter's Path version of his build with a different circlet that doesn't have ER, so, you know, 11% less energy recharge, and he still can do it consistently. But it's possible this burst place that he can do the 3 charge attacks plan playstyle consistently, which is the same amount of energy as burst and 3 charge attacks, right? It's the same 120 energy. So yeah, it's really interesting. So his new weapon needs those golems to upgrade, which are extremely rare. Golem, you mean like the things underground? They're not that rare. They're just annoying to get to. There's more of them than the guidebook, I think, leads you to believe. So anyways, I'll probably stream tomorrow still, by the way. Probably talking, I'm not going to talk about Emily this stream. I already talked about her enough, honestly, already in the previous stream that I didn't intend to talk about her that in depth with. I'll probably talk about her tomorrow, is my guess, particularly in regards to polearms only specifically. And I might do some of this event or whatever else on stream as well. But this is just going to be a Sethos, more Sethos testing, basically. I also, if I have time, after we're done testing the stuff with burst, hybrid burst charge attack playstyle here, and we'll try the Kazuo team first. I think again, I think the Furina Baiju team, mostly because of Baiju being, you know, more sustained off-field bender application doesn't require being swapped into, will probably feel better with the hybrid burst charge attack playstyle compared to this team, but we'll see. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there's other Sethos stuff I want to test too, because if I'm doing a Sethos testing stream again, I may as well test some other stuff. Notably, I want to try some quick swap stuff, so like Sethos and Tighnari, like I mentioned in the previous stream, and like some commenters have mentioned, right? Seeing how well I can get them two working together. And then also Binge suggested to me doing Nahida on Prototype Amber, along with Dia. So Sethos, Dia, Nahida official. I think that might actually be pretty decent as well. We'll see though. And yeah. And to be clear, that variation, if I test that in this stream, that's gonna have some inflated results because of C2 Nahida. So, anywho's, is Kirara C4? No, she is not. So I forgot about that. That's actually true. Having a C4 cat would be really nice. She's a free character next patch, by the way. Which, so, you know, that problem will resolve itself in the future soon. I forgot that, yeah, C4 Kirara would probably fix any of my issues that I have with Kirara, actually, right now. It still would be potentially valuable to... Her shield lasts 12 seconds, so it's... Her uptime is still a potential issue because her shield has to be active for you to trigger the C4, right? But that should enable her to get an additional instance of Quicken. That would enable it so I don't have to swap out her, which, yeah. So, unfortunately, though, my Kirara is not C4, so I would have to swap out, right? C6 Kirara would be nice, too, in the future for just, you know, more damage bonus, but not necessary. Personally, I think C4 Kirara should have been her base kit, but, you know, Hoyoverse and doing gated 4-star constellations that change the utility of a character. Crazy. Wild concept, right? Anywho's. You seen Chlorand Chi-Chi Skyward idea? No, I have no idea. What is Chlorand Chi-Chi Skyward? Anywho's. Furina C1, C2 is worth pulling more than Siegewind. I mean, depends on your healers if you have available. Like, Siegewind is basically a Kokomi side grade. Is the, like... Honestly, she's mostly a Kokomi downgrade. But so it depends on what you have, right? If you have no Kokomi, I think Siegewind's potential value goes up. If you have Kokomi, I think her value goes down a lot. So like she's an okay unit, but I think she's not deserving of 5-star Hydro status. That's for dang sure. She's just really not that interesting of a character, sadly. So. You know, yes, I think Furina's constellations are probably worth more if you are someone who really properly utilizes Furina, what she's most useful for, which is like an absurd buffer and enabler. A lot of people just end up using Furina like with Nuvilet or something. Why the f bother with Furina's constellations if you're doing Furina and Nuvilet? It barely matters. Like, it's already going to be you're doing Nuvilet Furina. So, anyways, let's just test the Kazuo variation first. So same slingshot build. A little bit inflated ER from Sethos Moonlight on Kazuo, but that's fine. Again, I've tested. You don't need the extra ER that Sethos is giving for Sethos to be able to do this, so it doesn't really matter for Sethos. It does benefit Kirara a little bit and benefits Kazuo himself. Just use a Fab build or Sack Sword build for doing this yourself. It's not really that different. Guess I'm never pulling again until that land. So yeah, I mean, don't let me stop you from getting Siege Range. It's not like if I got her, I said before, and like I don't think it would have been that hard. I would have probably found some amount of value from having her in the long term. I just really wish there was specific things that she was better at and that they weren't so scared of doing. But I don't know. It honestly looked like to me they didn't want to do another Fischl buff. I swear they configured her skill damage buff to basically be like this can benefit Visual, but in the main context where it will benefit Visual, you're not actually going to be using Visual, so you're probably not using Visual because Siege Wind is basically made for Furina, and that would mean you're doing Furina, Siege Wind, and Visual, and that doesn't leave you much team flexibility, does it? I mean, I guess you could do what, Furina, Siege Wind, Visual, Alhaitham, maybe. But no, that team would still really quickly, because Alhaitham's mirrors kind of skill damage, so it would just immediately use Siege Wind's buff. Like that's why they configured Siege Wind's buff the way they did, is to make sure like Visual couldn't really abuse it. Honestly, that's my take. But anyways, do a 10 pull. Why? What benefit would that be for me? I already tried. Like, if I had C5 Sethos, I would be willing. I could be compelled, but I'm at like 50 pity, guys. I'm at 50 pity. I already got an Hytham. I tried. I wanted to get C6 Sethos. It doesn't really matter that much. Like, functionally, what C6 Sethos does in my mind, now that I have, like, found... Yeah, like, no. Now that I have found, you know, this playstyle for him that I'm enjoying a lot, this hybrid playstyle / you know, charge attacks plan playstyle, like the high ER playstyle, what it does is it reduces his ER needs, right? It makes, C6 makes this more doable with less ER. Like, I could probably foresee, I could probably see, with a good chunk of ER substats still, see being able to do an EM timepiece instead of a energy recharge timepiece with a C6. Like, it would be a noticeable damage upgrade in that sense, potentially. With the same playstyle format because of the 20 energy refund. But that's really all it does. It's an energy refund once in a rotation. It reduces his ER needs. That's it. It doesn't unlock the ability to do anything new. So, best constellation, I honestly... Well, okay. If the stupid passive... If this passive didn't run out, I would say it's C1. Realistically, it's probably a C2, is my guess. But honestly, I think also C4 is kind of the most interesting, since it also buffs Team EM. So, you know, that means it's a little bit of an official buff, a little bit of a causal buff, right? It'll buff your Hyper Bloom well, Hyper Bloom damages he would be triggering anyways. But, you know, I think C4 is the most interesting one for the fact that it's beneficial to other characters. C1 is just nice. It's okay. And then C2 is decent for just damage improvement. It's nothing crazy, though. Okay. I don't know what chat is arguing about, but... Okay. We're gonna go to the Abyss, I think, to test most of this, because we kind of have to. It's the only real good situation to test this. So yeah, we'll test this first. So the oh boy, the kinkies. Oh boy, the kinkies. Arguing about the glory of Gloria and Gigi. Okay. Well, my advice would be to just stop arguing about that. Oh, we need to... Oh, okay. You know what? Before... Let's try to get his burst leveled up to at least level 6. Since we are going to be doing his burst playstyle here. No way, I just finished watching the Sethos vid and this pops up. Well, I mean, yep, that's part of why I'm doing this now. People might be watching the Sethos video right now. So anyone that joined recently, basically, the mistake I discussed is exactly what I discussed in the pinned comment. Just to save myself the time of repeating myself, which is that basically it's definitely more optimal because of the fact that his passive runs out for his charge attacks. It's definitely more optimal due to a hybrid playstyle of doing burst and charge attacks with the same high ER build, but it makes some things potentially more awkward rotation-wise, and it requires more skill optimization to take advantage of. But theoretically, it could have a quite significantly higher damage output for him. Like honestly, like if you can do it consistently, it's kind of competing with Chlorian's territory. Especially in AoE situations, I think it's just better. Like, I'm not even joking. But anyways, let's yes, this. Okay. Don't push me. I didn't mean to do that. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Whoop. Oh, don't do that. No, don't do that either. He never even had Dender on him. Whatever. But notice how, you know, he has cooldown, right? His burst is on cooldown. This is why I think it's definitely going to be better to... Okay, well, you know, better to not be bad. When his burst is on cooldown, though, you can still do charge attacks, right, with your excess energy. So that's why I think the doing burst sequence into a charge attack sequence is better. I've seen the idea of Marsha say on-field Emily because she will get burned anyway. And it gave me the idea, doesn't Emily allow any on-fielder to use MH? Yes, she does, but so does Burgeon in general. Burning Burgeon, and more specifically, Burgeon, in my experience, is a lot more reliable than Burning. Burning to trigger MH consistently requires hugging enemies. And generally speaking, is not ideal because it does too much damage to your teammates. But with Emily, the burning damage should be a lot less, because also the burning itself is not going to be very high, at least if Emily is the only Dender on the team. Because the EM, you won't be building her for EM, right? So yes, Emily can enable MH for any on-fielder if you're hugging enemies, and if they're the hitbox of like the burning aura around the enemy's hitbox also, like it's kind of weird and inconsistent, not necessarily in a way that you can rely on unless you're doing Burgeon, because Burgeon, as long as you're triggering them, you know, every few seconds, it's doing AoE damage, small amounts of AoE damage. So Burgeon is a lot more reliable at triggering MH basically. But Emily, with her damage reduction passive, has a lot greater potential to enable her burning, which is cool. It's one of the more interesting things about her kit. Like that's why I said before, like the interesting thing about Emily's kit to me, the most interesting thing about Emily's kit to me is the burning damage reduction. So, you know. But obviously you saw, like, right, like there's what I'm talking about, where I ran out of Quicken Aura. Can you die, bro? Why do these things take no damage, by the way? Like, I swear I'm not doing any damage. Whatever, it's fine. I'll double check the kit quick, but okay. Thanks for the garbage. So N2W, then spam charge attack until burst off cool. Not spam charge attack, do 3 charge attacks specifically. I don't think, you know, spam charge attack. Is why? Is there something going on here that I'm like seeing way less damage than I feel like I should be? Like, let's do just the normal. Why am I only getting like 30k? What? Well, I'm not triggering that there, but you know. Well, it's a 50k. Or 43k. Okay, whatever. Anyways. What kind of unit is Emily? I'll talk about her more tomorrow. A Dendro unit that doesn't do normal Dendro things. And doesn't even do things that special for the thing she is. She's pretty boring. She's honestly one of those simpler characters. There were some things I thought were going to be really interesting about her, and then we learned new information, or we got clarification on some things, and I was like, oh, wow, okay. All the ways in which she could have been interesting, they basically decided, no, this character's boring. I don't know, like, she doesn't have 0 interesting aspects. Like, I like her more than Chiori, to be completely clear. And I think I will really enjoy her on Poems only. But is all. Okay. I do have some golds. Nice. Probably not leveling his burst to level 8 here, but could level it to. Well, let's go see. Let's go see. Isn't that kind of with every new 4-star? Emily's not a 4-star. She was a 4-star. She'd be a bit nutters. Emily will be a good character, barring any major changes to her kit. But it's just her niche. Emily's niche right now is existing niches that okay, stop asking about Emily. All right, no more Emily questions. But Emily's existing, like, tomorrow is the Emily stream. Emily's existing niche is basically anywhere where like Nahida burn made sense. So like burn melt, for example, with Nahida. Emily, like specifically Nahida with a pyro unit, and you weren't using an Electro unit context, will be better than Nahida, probably. That's basically it, to be completely honest. And it'll be good for those team archetypes, making them better. Like, it will make Ganyu burn melt better, I suspect. But like, wow. So stop asking about Emily though. Tomorrow is Emily's stream. Literally, I need to focus on Sethos. Like, I have a time limit, okay? Frick, what it was these, right? No, wait, what? Do 3 charge attacks after N2 W spam, don't you lose like Kazuha and VV buff already? Yes, that's why I was talking about how earlier, like, it has implications for your rotation, it has implications for your team. I think what would be interesting though is like doing something like not doing 4-piece TF, right? So what I think we'll test here real quick is we'll do 4-piece, we'll do this build, right, with Thundering Fury, with this team quick against the Magu Kinkies, and then we'll see how it goes. But I think because of the fact that, like, I don't have C4 for Kirara, right, and because of the fact that, like, losing VV, I'd want to, you know, just use his burst and then switch to, actually no, if I use his burst first, he's not gonna be on a cooldown with his skill anyways. So anyways, this decreases the relevance of TF, is my guess, right? Quite a lot. In certain team contexts. In some other team contexts, I think it doesn't, right? Like, if I'm doing the Baiju Furina variation, I think 4-piece TF probably still makes sense, because, you know, I can just rely on my off-field ender application, or if I had C4 Kirara, it might make sense, and then swap Kazuha to somebody else. And yeah, you know, you get the point, right? It has like longer field time requirements for Sethos, has varying implications for team configuration, is all. Oh my god, I keep forgetting what. Yeah, okay, I was right. Praxis, that's what I thought. Okay. Is Leaning's weapon good for Sethos? No. Use Slingshot. I'm pretty sure Slingshot is better than Leaning's weapon. Double me. Wow, he gave me 1 bonus. Thank you, Saint Joe. You're so generous. He maybe he's working on a new gacha game. Okay. Hey, look, that's enough to level his burst to 8. Well, all right. I need 3 of these. Okay. I feel like Nahida is the only one proper Dendro application. Yep. Well, not proper. She has too much Dendro application for a lot of contexts, right? Like, if I replace Kirara with Nahida in this team, LOL, good luck swirling. Like, it's not as, it wouldn't be bad to have Nahida's own damage contribution, to have Nahida's EM buff, right? In fact, Nahida, if I swap out Kazuha in this team, Nahida might be the best option, and then I could switch Kirara to someone else, even, right? Like, I don't know exactly, like, I don't know. Is doing, well, no, Sara's buff is gonna run out. I was gonna say, is like doing Sara Kirara, or sorry, Sara Nahida Sethos Fischl better, right? Maybe, like, it would be better as far as seeing a big number from him. but also no shielding, right? So you have to play a little bit better. Also no healing other than not heat on prototype Amber. So, you know, I don't know, right? Like the different playstyle, the hybrid charge attack and burst has quite a lot of, like, okay, changes how you need to conceive of teams a little bit. Hence why I'm thinking about it here. Is Kiara good for Dendro application? Not really, but she can keep up Quicken, especially with, and she provides a shield, and her C4 makes her keep up Quicken even better. I think C4 should have been a base kit. I wouldn't be having some of the problems I'm having with this team if I had her C4, but, you know, oh well. Okay. Wait, did I actually level it up? I did not. Play him. Am I going under a million more? Yep. Rip. Ah, for a brief moment in history, I had more than a million more. Okay. Well, yep, that's fine. Alright, you know what, and for funsies, you know, I was gonna keep him on the slingshot build, but let's just steal my Tighnari pieces. I'll switch him back to slingshot if I start using him with Tighnari, because I want to give Tighnari his stuff back. But here, this will be a lot higher consistency. A little bit higher attack, a little bit higher EM, of course, right? Of course, more crit rate. Build a little bit lower ER though, so, you know, we'll see. Why not use the other Dendro Catalyst, Baiju? I mean, yeah, that's what I'm probably going to end up having to use. That's what my current guess is the Baiju Furina team is probably going to feel a lot better. Not that Furina is necessary there, to be clear. Is that much ER needed? Go watch the video if you didn't see. I'm not gonna, like, yes, a high ER is needed if you want to do, if you want to on-field Sethos longer and get a lot more reactions out of him. The main context in which you don't need high ER is if you're doing something like quick swap Sethos, essentially. So, speaking of, I don't know if I have the right combination of artifacts available for doing a, like, because I was mentioning, like, 4-piece TF might not be necessary, but part of why I'm able to do this 4-piece TF build is because I have a really good ER timepiece in TF. I don't think I have an ER timepiece in Wanderer's Troop, for example, that would work. I maybe have one in Marshassays that would work, but I'd need to level it. Okay. Anyways, we're just going to be fighting the Kinkies. So, yeah, I suspect what I already noticed is going to be the case, right? So we're going to do you, I don't know the, like, when I'm spending so long of field time on field with Sethos, I don't know what the ideal rotation necessarily is, but we'll see. But yeah, no, you don't need high ER on Sethos, but he has different playstyle options, right? And I think this is the way to play him if you actually like him. I think this is by far the most fun way to play him, is either charge attack spam playstyle, or if you're trying to really optimize, which is what we're testing here, doing both burst and charge attack, because that should be the most potential reactions, the most potential personal damage out of Sethos in a given rotation. But it also makes rotations longer, a little bit more awkward for buff uptime, etc., etc. Alright, and like, so I should do that, probably do that. And die. The damage wasn't bad, but yeah, like, I think, yeah, let me just show it, like, without, should I just choose the burst? I'm just going to choose the burst restore HP. This doesn't even do anything. So I'm going to, like the damage was good there, right? I'm going to just use, I'm just gonna, instead of swapping out after his burst, I'm gonna do what I would see as the ideal, which is staying on field with him and then doing 3 charge attacks after I'm done with his burst, right? That's what I think the ideal is. And the ideal is getting 7 sequences of his normal attack too, but especially against the Magu Kenkis when I have to dodge a little bit, I'm probably not gonna get 7 out, but you know, it's fine. I should also definitely be using Kazuha's burst, but it's fine. Right, and like yeah, Aggravate ran out basically. Like Aggravate runs out basically during the exact duration of his burst. So, yeah.
Excuse me. As you wish, sweet.
Okay, actually, it doesn't run out. Interesting. VV definitely runs out, obviously. Is Quicken Aura not 8 seconds? Or am I just... Oh, you know what's happening? What's happening is Kirara's burst. The stupid, like, poops on the ground is what's enabling... Interesting. Boss can't be sucked by animal gripping? That's not why I'm doing Kazuha. Why are you not using the Kazuha Tap E strat for instant grouping? What is the Kazuha Tap E strat? I haven't looked up clarification on it because it just doesn't really matter for me. Is that how you get them to what? Like, I have messed around myself, not like looked up anything. This is just how I enjoy playing. I have not looked up the specific strat to use Kazuha. I've noticed at times when, like literally, I think I've had maybe 3 or 4 instances across, like probably, heck, I probably tested 100 different instances against the Kinkies while they've been in Abyss here, and I've seen maybe 3 or 4 times where the dude on the right didn't zoop away, and it was because Kazuha was in the air, I think, but it's like really weirdly specific on position or still really RNG, and like it's inconsistent enough that I couldn't figure out a way to get it to happen consistently in a way I don't care. The way that I have found to consistently group them, at least like in a way that like works for Sethos, was doing things like, you know, going over here, making sure the dude runs straight away, and then I do Kirara, do this, and then I should have bursted first. I just wasted energy, but it's probably fine. Can I aim? Oh, the burst was still up. That's why. Duh. Whoops. I'm dumb. It's fine. It's fine. You can't aim during. You have the. So the downside of doing it, like you could do charge attack into burst. You do 3 charge attacks into then burst, but I think his cooldowns won't line up. God dang it! I need to burst charge attack. Yeah. So you can't do aiming mode, right? No. I'll probably try Tighnari, set those quicks up before the stream ends, hopefully. Oh, it wasn't over. Dang it, I thought it was over. I just mistimed it. Oh. I need freaking 1 more ER roll on Kazuha. Whatever. I'm purposely not using my C1 Kazuha, right? But... Oh god. Oh god. Alright. No. Oh god. Yeah. I mean, it definitely runs out. I think with the circumstances where I did see Aggro fully the way through was because of Kirara's burst just happening to pop on them. Ever thought to join HoloLive VTubers? I don't think HoloLive is a thing. Is it? I don't know. Like, I probably will do some kind of simple model. Like I was actually talking about my Discord yesterday or the day before about doing like a simple like animal model VTuber thing. just so I have like some amount of like, you know, model that has some spatial expressions going on. Reacting to things would be a smart idea, I think. Versus like a full arse, you know, anime model, whatever thing. But I'd be a Candace. I can't unhear this is based. That's what he's saying. There's nothing to unhear. Okay, let's try. So yeah. Basically, I think I was right about the awkwardness of the buff timing, and there could be reason to do, you know, 4-piece thunder, non 4-piece thundering fury, and then, you know, after you burst or do his 3 charge attacks. But let's try 3 charge attacks into burst playstyle. The main thing I want to watch for here is to see, because the downside of doing 3 charge attacks and then bursting playstyle is that, one, you don't get to do, like, I think it's a little bit not ideal as far as the energy across a rotation, because you're doing like E into 3 charge attacks, which means you're not getting the energy from the first E, I think. That probably won't matter with Fischl, to be honest. And then, more importantly, the cooldown on Sethos burst, if we're doing the burst after we're doing the charge attacks, we're basically artificially making his cooldown more be like 20-second cooldown, right? But it still might end up feeling better. So, you know, we'll see.
Excuse me.
1, 2, 3.
Just wisdom. Give me some space.
Yeah. Don't.
Grandfather.
Okay. It didn't even get to a second rotation. Good job, me. Do need to see what happens at a second rotation. What bad. Alright, I think... Okay, it actually does line up pretty well. Okay. I think I like doing this a little bit more then. Oh, I didn't get energy back quite enough. So yeah, I think I was right. It was a little bit more awkward energy-wise. I think that's what we probably saw there, versus the burst into charge attacks versus charge attacks into burst. Wasn't right. So I don't know. It's just a little like, it's kind of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. I liked how the charge attack into burst playstyle felt more, but I think it might extend rotations a little bit more too, right? So, what are you running Fischl on? The typical Golden Troop build with whatever buck is. Grandfather. Yeah, he says grandfather. I'm sure there's some story stuff, but you know, yeah. Let's keep on trying the charge attack into burst a little bit here. 1, 2, 3. Okay. No.
The sun sets forever.
So, okay. Retry. One thing. I don't know. It's interesting. Like 4-piece TF here for the first skill cooldown is pretty important in this variation, I think. I don't think you'll necessarily be getting it if you don't. I think we're also seeing, though, Fischl. Oh, frick. Why is he shooting? Oh, that's an interesting problem. I didn't... You notice that? When you're really close to an enemy and doing his normal attack playstyle... here, let me try to show it. When you're really close to an enemy and doing his normal attack playstyle, he aims upwards towards models like the Magu Kenkis, right? So see, he's aiming up. Huh. That's kind of annoying. Why? Oh, hoyo. Oh, hoyo. That's really annoying, actually. To be clear, that's contextual. Like, it's going to be depending on, like, what the enemy is. But that literally means, like, I'm losing AoE damage because even if I'm in a line with the two Magu Kenkis there, he's shooting upwards at an angle, which means, like, yeah, it pierces, but it pierces going into the freaking sky. Why would they do that? Why wouldn't they just make it shoot, like, man... So that means like, basically it means that Sethos' auto-targeting for his normal attacks is auto-targeting, I think, weak points is probably what's happening. It's better run Fav on Sethos. I mean, yeah, you can. I think I have a better artifact as far as damage potential goes for doing this, though. Fav is good, though. Like, I suggested it in my video. Story, I don't have C4. Not that C4 is necessarily needed, but I also don't have it leveled up, so, like, you know.
Excuse me.
Like the... And then, notably here, if you notice, like, the damage goes down a lot when we're doing the burst. Official do be gone. For at least part of the burst sequence there, I think. Let's try to watch more forward specifically. Yeah, we're just gonna not cause a burst this time.
Excuse me.
I probably need, yeah, a little bit more ER because I'm not getting the energy from the first skill. My ER is higher when I'm doing the charge attack into burst playstyle versus the burst into charge attack playstyle. So I think for my current build, the burst into charge attack playstyle is better, right? I get it on the right side.
Grandfather.
This is why shielders are not good. Where's the other dude? Oh, okay, I'm bad. Whatever. It's fine. It's fine. Oh my god. Yeah, so his burst into charge attack playstyle has less ER needs. At least for the first rotation, now I think about it. The second rotation might not be the case, so let's do multiple rotations. I didn't mean to do that. Whatever. I don't know where the other dude is. I did that wrong. I am dash canceling because I don't want to run towards them right away. So. I don't know why that took forever. Did I have cryo on me? Is that why that took so long? I can't speak. Don't worry. No, leave me alone. Like, see, he's shooting up and he wasn't hitting multiple. And then, can you not? And then, no, yeah. Also, no stamina because, the cryo. The cryo, man. Oh, these things have, I love and hate fighting the Kenkis. It's just like I'm moving slow and not able to dash out of my aiming mode because of the fact that Hoyo is annoying. And then the cryo like reduces my stamina, and I dash so much that I'm just out of stamina. and then I can't dash out of my freaking aiming mode, and then I'm just like, why can I? Oh, I need to.
By royal decree.
Clouds high. The birds come. Speed move. Way ahead. Excuse me.
Shadow Raven.
Do something like that, right?
Fallen leaves.
There
Adorn my night.
Set.
Wing strike.
On reveal bite.
Al-Akbar. Way ahead.
Like that was the quickest I have ever cleared that chamber with this team, right? I didn't do that perfectly by any means, I don't think. But that was also an example of like what I was talking about, where I do think that actually showed how playing him with this high ER build but bursting and charge attack playstyle is the highest application potential and highest damage potential, therefore, for him. And that was what was that, a little bit over 45 seconds? Yeah, 47 seconds. That's the highest I've done that. So, or fastest I've done the Magu Kinkis with a team. So I don't know, right? It's really interesting. This is a C4 Sethos, which is not, it's not like an insane increase, but it's also not nothing. So like, you know, that's inflating his personal damage contribution a bit. But I don't think it's the difference maker between being able to clear or not with this like team format, factoring in equivalent like investment on Fischl kind of thing. And my Fischl's very strong, to be clear. So anyways, like this team is a little bit awkward, right? Because of needing to like refresh Dendro, with doing the bursting and charge attack playstyle, just because his field time requirements are long enough that, you know, you're using VV. But I think I showed with that dynamic there in the end there, where you can just swap off of like Kazuha, do another E kind of thing, and it can work well. I think if you are doing like this team format, for example, and like swapping off of Kazuha to, or swapping off of Sethos, sorry, to reset like Kazuha Swirl, reset Fischl is probably notable as well. It's probably not as relevant to do 4-piece TF, because 4-piece TF, like when I made the video, was mostly for being able to do a ton of charge shots immediately in a row to each other, right? So, oh, I am using this bow on him. I forgot I equipped this bow. So, you know, that's actually probably the most noticeable thing in this instance. But you can see Sethos' damage performing pretty similar to what you just saw there, with Slingshot in my video, if you didn't see it for some reason. Yeah, his base HP and notably his base defense is quite low. And one of the things that people forget about base defense being low, not only does that increase the damage he takes from enemies, so, you know, low base HP and low base defense makes him easier to die. It takes more damage from enemies, but it also makes your shields take more damage too, because the amount of like shields are just basically extra HP, right? So like Kirara is giving a shield of 19% of her HP plus 2,200, right? So that's about a 1,300 HP shield. So it's functionally making Sethos be, you know, about 2,800 HP, right? So 2,800 HP with Kirara's shield, and but the amount of HP, like the amount of damage that Kirara's like 13,000 HP shield takes, is based on Sethos' defense. So a lower defense also makes shields run out faster. So yeah, it's one of the honestly most annoying things about him. Like if there's anything that's going to make him feel bad to play to people, it's the fact that he's so squishy. So yeah. I will try it with Kirara DPS. I could try the quick swap playstyle with Kirara DPS, but it would probably just be worse, to be completely honest. And I don't really want to change my Kirara build around that much, but I will try some quick swap stuff here shortly. We're gonna do Furina Baiju now. So Baiju, right? Yeah, look, this button's actually useful. In this instance, just from a content perspective. Baiju's burst, right, lasts 15 seconds. Sorry, 14 seconds, my bad. 14 seconds, which, if I do something like Furina into Fischl, into Baiju, into Sethos, should give me enough duration that I don't have to swap out with Sethos, right? Although it still might be ideal to swap it with Sethos depending on Fischl. So Fischl might be the equation here that still makes it so like I still have to swap out. But we'll see. So do you. Have 150 pulls, 28 pity on character, and 32 on weapon banner. Should you go for Furina C1 or her weapon? Like, Furina's weapon? No, Furina's weapon is garbage. Like, if you're picking between the two, Furina C1 will have more noticeable value. Assuming you use Furina in, like, the ways that I do, at least. If you're using Furina with only, you know, strong units that are already strong, I don't know. I don't see much value in getting Furina C1, and making the units that are already strong even stronger, right? Like get Furina C1 for Nuvilet to get 20% more damage bonus on Nuvilet. Why? But using, you know, Furina C1 to make Sethos stronger, I think is more sensible, you know. Furina's weapon is fine for her damage, but like, LOL, have fun getting enough ER on her. I'm sorry, Furina's signature weapon is Fav Sword. I will die on this hill. Oh, I should have timed that better.
A bitter pill to swallow. Seems like an emergency. Sage's wisdom. Into space.
Oh boy.
Excuse me.
Freaking cryo.
Shower me with praise. Let the world collide. Queen of darkness.
Mind the side effects. Taking a turn for the better. Way ahead.
God, frick you.
Into space.
Hello? I didn't realize you were alive.
Whoa. Way ahead.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. That was the first attempt compared to. I mean, this is the same conclusion I kind of had on the video, wherein with the charge attack spam playstyle, right? Wherein this team is just a lot more comfortable to play. How much ER does your Baiju have? I think like 230 with prototype Amber. Fav sword, not pipe. Yes, I mean the pipe is a bad Fav sword, guys. Like, how much ER does you need to solo Hydro without Fav? A lot. I mean, like, I have enough ER on my Furina build with Fav that she can, like I think I have like 260 ER on her. I have her configure like low HP, all the ER build, because I just never want to touch this lady's build most of the time. Like, I just want her to have her burst up, even if I like F up in some form, you know, and like all scenarios, no matter what, I always want this lady's burst back. So, you know, I mean, yeah, festering is fine. There's about 5 people that have that. I'm joking, like, but you had to be playing since whatever, like, before I started playing. Why'd you heal me? Why'd you heal me? Freaking cryo. Okay, well, this one's going worse because they just weren't lined up as well.
Remember, health comes.
No. What? Oh, God, I activated burst. I'm an idiot. Sorry, don't worry about it. I'm just being bad. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Will Fab Sword passive activate on field? Off field? No, it doesn't matter. Watch. Fab. Let's see how long it takes me that I don't trigger Fab. Well, okay, to be clear, this is an AoE situation. It'd be more fair to compare this in a non-AoE situation. So here, let me try to get Frida's to trigger. This is an R5 Fab, to be clear. We'll trigger on one of them. Now they're all gonna hit. Fav. She hits 4 times. She hits 4 times. with her skill very shortly after activation. And normally you do something like E into Q or maybe Q into E, right? So you have like 5 instances of hits that can crit, 5 instances of hits that can trigger Fab passive, regardless of the refinement, right? It's a lot, like what you want for a Fab user to consistently trigger it, especially with lower refined Favs, is lots of instances of hits and a character that wants to be built crit anyways, and a character that has high ER needs. That's literally Furina. So let's do this again. We'll see. I'm going to do it against one enemy, right? This is the worst case scenario. No, Fab triggered. I'm sorry. Well, we're gonna go until Fab doesn't trigger. After the initial sequence of hits from the skill, and because the reason I'm counting the initial sequences of hits from the summons is because if I do E into Q, like even if I don't get Fab procs on the first few particles, the summons will hit during the burst animation, which should proc Fab. Like I'm probably not actually gonna go until I don't trigger Fab. I'd have to get pretty unlucky to not trigger Fab. I think she has 60% crit rate, if I recall, 65-ish. So we're talking like a it's basically like a 1 in 3 chance, to the power 1 in 3 to the power of 4 is what we're doing here. So the chance that she doesn't trigger Fab, because I have an R5 Fab, right? So it's a guaranteed chance for that. 1 in 3 to the power of 4. What is that? 1 in 9. 27 times 3. There's like a 1% chance I don't trigger Fab after the initial summons hits. So like she doesn't have to trigger it off field. I mean, okay, I'm just triggering it every single time immediately, so you know, that's good enough. I was threatening being here for 30 minutes, but I don't have the time to do that today. So no, I think Furina's weapon's kind of garbage. I did that wrong, but whatever. Like I did a few polls, I think, on, if I recall, I did a few polls on Furina's weapon banner when she first ran, because I wanted Furina's weapon for Kirara, for DPS Kirara. Because it would buff Kirara's damage. Like, Kirara has a passive that gives her a little bit bonus damage based on her HP, and then Kirara also, of course, on a Marshall's build, likes a lot of crit damage, and I like playing Kirara with skill for her skill damage, and Furina's weapon buffs skill damage. So like, Furina's weapon is actually a perfect weapon for how I specifically play DPS Kirara. But would I ever use it on Furina? Honestly, no. It's not Furina's signature weapon. It's the same thing as like Sethos Scarlet Sands. I'm sorry, it's not Sino's signature weapon. It's Raiden's signature weapon. Should probably, yeah, I should probably wait to activate Furina's burst there to not get smacked. But you know, whatever. All right, we're gonna go waste some time going back. You know. Stop! Okay, you know what I should do? I'm gonna try getting a little bit more official uptime, doing Baiju first and then doing official. Although, oh, okay, well then we have a problem if I don't have another ER. If I do that way, interesting. Or I goofed up something else. Oh, dang it. Yeah. I'm alive, don't worry about it. I'm not alive. Okay, Magu Kenkis are still annoying. I got a, what, 40-something second clear, I think, in my first attempt against this. So I forgot to, oh, no, I dashed that time. Alright, good job, me. Good job, me.
Remember, health comes first. Prestigious wisdom. Excuse me.
Oh, get out of the range. Why can't I? Oh, freaking cryo! See, I was trying to dash out and I couldn't because it looks stupid cryo. Ugh. I don't know why I did that. Whatever. Alright, it's awkward trying to figure out how to use official here, right? But now he's shooting straight up. Yeah, that shooting straight up makes this a lot more annoying. So I don't know. Point is, as far as like comparing this to the charge attack spam playstyle, honestly, for this team, like let's just compare it, right? Instead of doing burst and charge attack, let's compare it to just doing charge attacks with this team. Like charge attacks should be significantly worse as far as total damage output goes, but gives me more control, right? So this is it's a circumstance where, in like, on a spreadsheet, right? On paper, Sethos doing charge, like this high ER build of Sethos doing his charge attack and his burst is absolutely more damage potential. But in practice, because of the situational control utility of, you know, having more freedom to like not have to worry about like stamina usage, not having to worry about the fact that he freaking, when he does his normal attack and when I'm close to Magu Kenki, it just shoots it straight in the freaking air and only hits one enemy. Like, it means like the in practice damage potential is not actually that in favor towards his burst, is kind of what I feel. Which is kind of good, because it means I kind of didn't make that much of a mistake then, in a way. But it just means it's more situational. Stream is lagging. YouTube says I have an excellent connection. OBS is fine, so it might be on your end. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube's not giving me any errors, so. So anyways, let's do just the charge attack spam playstyle. Right, wait a little bit there. All right. That's so true. Yeah, sure.
Taking a turn for the better.
I don't know.
Space. Behind you. Way ahead. A bitter pill to swallow.
Alright, well. Slightly up. Oh, you freaking cryo. Get out of here. I rotated too fast in that instance. So, right. That was an interesting. So that's interesting, right? This is I noticed this, and I think I mentioned this in the video and in the previous live stream. Especially, I think someone else noticed it in the original live stream too. With doing 6 charge attacks playstyle, because Sethos' field time is shorter, his cooldown, like Baiju's cooldown noticeably in this team doesn't line up as well. like playing optimally with Baiju in this team makes Baiju, or with Sethos, sorry, makes Baiju's cooldown, burst cooldown not line up, because I think it's like a 20-second cooldown. If it was like an 18-second cooldown, it'd be a lot better. So that's an interesting factor going on here, where like Baiju just lines up better when you're doing the longer rotation version of Sethos.
Mind the side effects. Remember, health comes. Excuse me. Way ahead.
No, you
Still got this. A bitter pill to
All right, there we go. I think that was just because I played worse, right? But it lined it up. It lined up properly there. Oh my god. Kinkies. What we doing today? We're testing Sethos more. We're testing Sethos' like burst normal attack and burst combo playstyle, because on paper it should be a lot better than charge attack spam playstyle that I did in my video.
taking a turn for the better. Way ahead. Empty space.
No. Yeah, we're just gonna play a little bit smarter here.
Way ahead.
Do that.
Mind the side effects. Remember, health comes. Excuse me.
Like, despite Sethos' personal damage output being lower, right? Freaking cryo, man.
Way ahead.
Despite Sethos' personal damage, oh my god, personal damage output being lower, I think I like this more, right? I still think I like the charge attack playstyle more, right?
Way ahead.
At least against the Magu Kinkis, right? But the Magu Kinkis are also something that, like, on paper feels like should be optimal on a, like, these enemies can be a little bit of annoyance with like how they strafe around, but right, it's relatively easy to get circumstances wherein they're lined up, right? which is ideal for his charge attacks and ideal for his burst. And they got a lot of crap going on that makes things a little bit awkward to optimize, but like so do many situations that the end game combat throws at you, right? And the burst and charge attack playstyle requiring more strict like rotation requirements, being more awkward to factor in like when to re-up Fischl, making it harder to use Kirara. Like I think the charge attack spam playstyle, despite being worse for his personal damage performance and worse on like potential team damage output, with the level of control it offers, over the burst playstyle, burst charge attack hybrid playstyle, I think I still like the charge attack spam playstyle more. It is basically what it is. It also is more satisfying, I think, because I like the sound effects. I mean, the sound effects on his burst are pretty good too, so that's not really that relevant, to be completely honest.
Excuse me? As you wish, me Fräulein.
That was good. Okay, I had to reposition for sure. It's fine.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health.
Ow. Okay, glad I was out of range of that. Which one's alive? Oh, they're all alive. I see. Well, I'm not exactly in the ideal spot to hit them then. No.
By royal decree.
Okay.
Midnight Phantasmagoria. Taking a turn for the better. Into space.
In some ways, the worse I play this team, the better it feels when doing the charge attack spam playstyle. Because the cooldown for Baiju and whatever lines up better. Yeah, like I don't know. Let's do the burst and charge attack playstyle again. Should you wish for Chlorand or Furina? If you have neither between the two, Furina is by far the more valuable pull on a generic level. But don't let me stop you from pulling the characters you think are going to be the most fun to you. But Furina is a character that enables you to have fun with a lot more different characters. Whereas Chlorand is just like someone who gets value from characters like Furina that enable her to be fun, right? It's probably the simple way to describe it. Like, they're not even very comparable at all. They're completely different. They're completely different styles of characters. Okay, you know, it's fine.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember, health. Way ahead. This is space.
This is some of the most satisfaction I've ever gotten. Like, doing the charge attack spam playstyle is some of the most satisfaction I've gotten out of doing like a 4-piece Thundering Fury build too. Right? Oh god. Oh. Okay. Oh wait, I wasn't even doing... Oops. I meant to be doing the burst and charge attack playstyle again. Yes, she enables martials and hunters for so many characters. That's one of the factors of her being an enabler for having fun with other characters. Let's Baiju first this time.
Remember, health comes first. Sage's wisdom. Excuse me.
Grandfather. Furina, oh my god. Furina enabling martial say hunters, by the way, single-handedly invalidates the existence of the, let's actually play the game. It single-handedly invalidates the existence of Blizzard Strayer. Ow, I knew it was gonna happen. Whatever. Yeah, just try again. Whatever, it's fine. God, frick, good lord, man. See, like this enemy is close to me, so I can't do, like... It's really awkward. It's really awkward. Like, this playstyle is so much more awkward. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know. It's interesting. Like we definitely saw, I think, one instance where in, like, I cleared in, what did I clear in, like 47 seconds, I think, with the burst and charge attack playstyle, and that has been the fastest that I've cleared with a Sethos team doing this high ER Sethos variation. So like again, like when things go decently well, in whatever situation you're on, not just in the Kenkis, it is better to do the hybrid burst and charge attack playstyle. But man, I think I still just like the charge attack spam playstyle more. So I don't know.
Help comes first. Way ahead. Into space.
You know.
Way ahead.
Midnight fantastic.
Mind the side effects. Seems like an emergency. Into space.
You know. Stop! God, they're so annoying.
A bitter pill to swallow. Remember,
Like,
help comes first.
it's a circumstance right now of like, you know, oh, I cleared that in 54 seconds versus doing the having a more optimal situation of doing the burst and charge attacks playstyle on the exact same team, exact same builds, right? I cleared in 47 seconds versus 54 seconds. So like, again, it on paper it's better for damage performance is kind of what I found there. But what I also found was that like, it's not. It's awkward. It's much more awkward to get those optimal sequences, and just feels worse in general to me compared to the charge attack spam playstyle, and but it's at the sacrifice of, you know, a little bit of damage. But when we're talking like 47 seconds versus 54 seconds, right? Which for some people, depending on like what your other team is for the other side of the abyss, and what your general investment level is, might be the difference between clearing the abyss or not. In my case, it's not, right? Like, having 2 minutes to clear the second side means I will probably clear the second side with a minute to spare. So clearing in 10 seconds faster on the Sethos side just does not matter. And therefore, I'd rather choose the one that is just feels better to play, is more consistent for allowing me control to be able to, you know, aim my shots and hit multiple at a time, is less frustrating for stamina management. So, like, is it Kenki specific or just in general? I mean, like, the specific differences there that we saw are obviously Kenki specific, but it's not like that generalized AoE situation wouldn't be the same. It's not like I wouldn't have those same issues against like the same height of hitbox. Like, I'm pretty sure, let's go test quick, against Masanori, right? Like if I'm hugging Masanori, does Sethos's burst do the same thing, aiming to the sky? Because that's like a big part of how awkward it feels. Like, I didn't realize that would be a thing before doing this testing on stream. So let's see here, like, because I think this dude is a little bit shorter, right, than the Kenkis, but still, obviously, there's a height differential. Like, he's twice as tall, so I think he's still gonna aim straight up, and he's gonna shoot to the sky when I'm near the enemy. Like, that makes things so much more variable. We're on midnight Masanori. How exciting! All right, I need that. All right. He doesn't with this one. Okay, so some of those issues were definitely Magu Kenki specific then. I thought he was going to aim up at this one, but he doesn't. I guess we should check if it's the Karagi it happens to as well.
Excuse me.
Oh. Hi, please. Hi, please. Thank you. Yeah, I really like his sound effects. So, I think there's some Karagi here, right? Oh, I used his energy. Yep, that's fine. Won't take that long. Hello, friends.
Into space.
barely. Gain my energy. Alright. No, he is still aiming up a little bit, right? Yeah, he still aims up a little bit with Kairagi. I don't know why we didn't see it against Masanori. I think maybe we didn't see it because I think the projectiles might have been hitting the wall of that arena. That's probably what we were seeing. And it's a problem because notably you have to walk cancel, right? You have to walk cancel if you want to get optimal combos out from his burst playstyle, right? His normal attacks playstyle. And I think that means for most players, like what was happening with me, you're going to walk forward slightly. If you optimize your play a bit, wherein you're doing walk cancels where you're not really walking forward at all, because you can do walk cancels where you you activate, right? You can walk forward, and it cancels the animation basically without moving him, or it moves him very little. So again, with optimized play, you can potentially mitigate that by maintaining your distance, but by nature of having to do walk cancels, it means that you're more likely to be walking towards an enemy, and when you start walking towards an enemy, you're going to start shooting in the air against any tall enemy, which is a lot of enemies in this game. That's kind of a dick move on Hoyoverse's part. I think it's probably just an oversight, because they probably just, you know, did their default targeting scheme and made it auto target to, yeah. But that makes it a lot more situationally awkward. But again, as you saw, like when things go well, it can go really well. And that my point with that is like it's not tied to the Magu Kenkis. Like I can imagine plenty of other situations that are less annoying than Magu Kenkis in many ways. Like I don't have to deal with the cryo or whatever, which could make it easier to optimize the burst and charge attacks playstyle. But it would still be awkward in trying to manage like his shooting charge attacks in the air. Is my point. So you know. Do we... Like, yeah, when you're fighting same height enemies, right? Small enemies like treasure hoarders, probably small hilly turtles, it's fine, but like... Man, there's a lot of like big, tall enemies in this game. Like, it's going to be awkward a lot with him if you're doing that. So, I don't know. It's really interesting, to be clear. The fact that there is this much nuance in discussing, like, how to optimize play around Sethos is what makes him a wildly interesting character. And really, really fun to me. Meanwhile, Chlorand is like, do the right sequence of E and normal attack clicking.
There's a lot of very fascinating. Way ahead.
Yeah. So like, you know, what are the triangles next to Sethos? That's indicating his passive. This second passive, which is the mistake I made, which is what has led me to doing the stream. Right, not realizing that this passive made it so that his buff runs out. So when you're doing his 6 charge attack spam playstyle, like I was, right, doing 6 of his level 2 charge attacks in a row, he only gets the buff for 4 shots, or for 5 seconds, whatever happens first. So usually the 4 shots, I believe, and he's basically an easy to play Chlorand. No, I'd say he's a harder to play Chlorand. Chlorand is a relatively simple character and pretty brainless to play from my impressions. I haven't played her that much, to be clear. I played her a very tiny bit. But like, I've seen enough of her that I understand. She's not that interesting. There's no weird energy mechanics going on. Like, Sethos has very weird energy mechanics going on that makes there be a lot of natural nuance in how you play. And then there's annoying things, goofy annoying things, like his aiming with his burst, shooting into the sky against tall enemies. But I don't know. The fact that he has this high energy playstyle that allows him to get a lot more application note than most people. Like, as far as I'm aware, most content creators, no one's told me yet of any content creator that has been talking about the high ER playstyle on Sethos. And I think this is by far, it's a way to play him that starts to make him compete with any other Electro on fielder, essentially. And isn't that constellation reliant? Like, his constellations will improve his personal damage performance, and his C4 improves team damage performance a little bit, but it's not like, it shouldn't be the difference maker between him feeling garbage or not. And this playstyle makes him feel good to play, I feel like. It's why I thought it was worth leveling him to 90. So, and the fact that there's these nuances between optimizing between charge attack spam versus burst. There's potential for the quick swap stuff, which we may as well go test here. I think is super fun. Yeah, I know Cloran Chi-Chi exists. Does physical Sethos exist? Every physical exists. You can do physical Sethos. It's going to be as bad as basically every other physical build in the game. So, with the only advantage being that he can provide the Electro for Superconduct, right? So, you know, don't recommend, but don't let me stop you. Oh, you know what? Speaking of something,
Do you hear that?
oh, my alarm went off. Oh, frick. Okay. All right. We're not going to test the. I'm going to set another timer for like another 30 minutes. Like that. Another 30 minutes is when I have to end the stream. I don't want to keep my friends hanging.
Something's going
I want to test quick swap with Tighnari quick with him, but we all know Electro on-field DPSs are just fischl drivers. Yeah, it's a problem with, you know, like these strong 4-stars like fischl. If you looked at like the Cloran first impressions video from Zajeff, he summarized the issue quite well. Wherein like Cloran on her own doesn't really carry much weight in the team compared to just like how much like fischl is doing. And it's a problem of they can't make Cloran do insane numbers on her own without fischl, because that means with fischl she becomes stupid, right? Like stupid strong, and like that's not like, we don't want characters to be that strong. Like he was like, yeah, it's not a bad thing that Cloran does balance. It just means that she's like also the least necessary part of most of her teams. And that's kind of the same thing with Sethos. It's kind of the same thing with any individual Electro on-fielder. And it's just down to the individual nuances of how they feel to play more than anything. And I think that's actually a good thing. I think that they're being like mostly just like nuances of like how long you on-field these characters. What are the restrictions? How badly do you want interruption resistance with these different characters? How do they feel to move around the battlefield? Like that's a big advantage to Cloran potentially. That might make you like Cloran a lot more than Sethos. Is her ability as far as like Electro on-field carry versus Electro on-field carry. The fact that she can, you know, zoop around a little bit, that could feel a lot better in a lot of situations. So it's just different preferences is in my mind. So I think fischl is overall very healthy for the game, fischl's existence. But she also does restrict Hoyo versus design a little bit for how they design Electro carries to make sure they're not ridiculously broken when paired with fischl. Instead, they just have to be balanced, essentially, which is good. Characters should be just good and balanced. Yeah. Just don't build fischl. I mean, no, not building fischl doesn't make it so Cloran magically does more damage on her own. Like, fischl's existence affects how characters like Cloran, Sethos are balanced. So, who's stronger, Arlecchino or Clan? I think Arlecchino by far. It's not even close. Arlecchino's versatility and personal damage strength is far higher. So, anywho's, what is this Japanese? Yeah, that's Japanese, I'm pretty sure. All right, let me translate that. I can't not go and translate this. Bear with me. I got rare. I mean, occasionally I get people, you know, using different languages, but not usually Japanese. Translate. Good morning. Oh, they said Ohayo gozaimasu. Ohayo. Ohayo gozaimasu. I think I said that correctly. Is that normally something that's written? I think this is just hiragana, right? Is that just hiragana? Is Ohayo gozaimasu normally just written in just hiragana? I don't know. So I feel like that might have not been an actual Japanese speaker, maybe, but I don't know. Anyways, good morning. Thanks for joining the stream. I'm not trying to question whether or not you are Japanese. It might sound like a bit of an arsehole. It's just what I know of how the Japanese writing system works. I think those are all hiragana. And I don't know enough about the Japanese writing system to know whether or not that specific word is usually written with hiragana, or if there are kanji involved, right? I think there's no kanji in that statement there, or in that word. Anywho's. Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, good morning. Let's see. It's also definitely not morning for it's 2 p.m. Wait, quick swap. So let's try a quick swap Sethos. With Tighnari.
I'll lead the way.
I think I'm just gonna do Nahida as the last slot, because like
so many places for us to explore.
Nahida is gonna give EM, buffs Tighnari, buffs Fischl, buffs Sethos, right? And it makes things a bit more brainless. I think it's a no-brainer. So keep in mind, this is a circumstance where Nahida C2 is gonna significantly increase the numbers we see. So subtract like 20% from the numbers we see. So if we see 70k on Sethos, subtract that down towards, you know, we're probably not going to see 70k. Well, I don't know. We'll see. I don't think we're going to see 70k. I am going to switch him back. We're going to switch his build around. The problem is if we're doing Sethos and Tighnari, maybe I do. No, I can't do Furina because I don't have a healer. Shoot. What do I do for a build? The problem is, right, maybe I just leave him on TF but put him on an EM timepiece, I guess. I think I might just do that. The problem is if I'm using Tighnari and Sethos together, right? Oops. Sethos is using the pieces that Tighnari likes. And Tighnari is using the pieces that Sethos likes if I'm doing both of them quick swap. Like just doing 4 charge attacks playstyle Sethos, then do charge attacks on Tighnari, and you get the point. I don't have that many Wanderer's Troop artifacts, I think. So, you know, I only have 1 EM timepiece. I don't even think I have another crit damage circlet. Or no, alright, no, I do have a crit damage circlet available, but it's it is, yeah. Okay, maybe I do. Maybe I do have the ability. Okay, let's see. Let's see what the build looks like if I do slingshot. Yeah, that's fine. No, we need to wait. Oh, wait, we do need an EM timepiece. Frick, that's gonna cause a problem. Because I don't have an onset goblet. Okay, no. Yeah. Right, I don't have an onset goblet. No, not even an EM goblet. I'm not gonna, no, I'm not putting in, what sets do I have an EM timepiece on? Skill damage ain't exactly relevant. Yep, I think I'm just gonna switch back to Thundering Fury. Not because I need the cooldown reduction, but like I'm just gonna do Thundering Fury with like that's just how my artifact situation is working out here. Is what it seems to be. Oh well, that's fine. It's not like I don't think Wanderer's Troop would be that much more damage than Thundering Fury, to be clear. So yeah, we're basically just switching from an ER timepiece to an EM timepiece. So slingshot build, Sethos, 67 crit rate, that's 80 crit rate with a C1, right? 166 crit damage, 484 EM, should be pretty decent. Tighnari build right here. So yeah, let's see how it goes. New event weapon on Sethos. It might be competitive slingshot in like the context of that Furina team I showed before, where there's meaningful bloom damage happening, where you're getting additional value on the EM. Outside of that context, I don't think it's super good. Like you should probably just use slingshot, and even in the Furina context where you're getting additional EM value from hyper blooms, probably still slingshot. Russian, or not necessarily Russian. That's just the Cyrillic alphabet. Doesn't mean Russian. Anywho's, okay, what are we doing? We're doing official, Sethos, Tighnari, Nahida. Alright. And then I do think I want to fight Coppelius, so we can see a single target situation, right? Yeah, it is actually, instead of like subtracting 20% for individual numbers you see, by the way, because like C2 Nahida is doing a lot of work in this team. Like C2 Nahida is buffing Tighnari, Nahida, Official, and Sethos. That's why C2 Nahida is annoying as shit, and I'd really like to be able to turn it off as far as like trying to evaluate teams. This is why I've been avoiding using Nahida in general. There are team contests like this one where it makes enough of a difference to all of the units' damage in the team that it's pretty hard to like I don't know how much slower this will be to clear without C2 Nahida. I would add like probably at least 20 seconds though without C2 Nahida to the time taken to clear. Is what I think I'd recommend. Blim. How good is Chlorine with Shivers? Worse than C0 Raiden. But easier to build than C0 Raiden. So, take that for what you will. What does rotation look like? I mean, it's going to be relatively freeform. It's going to be start with Nahida. By the way, Nahida, I think Nahida's on Prototype Amber. So Nahida is a healer for this team, which is nice. Yeah, I don't know, whatever. I'm not gonna think about it. just. Good. Oh, good. I'm doing well. It's fine. Is there burning Sethos? Okay, if I have time after testing this, I want to test this in Chamber 1 and 2. If I have time after I test this team, I will try the Dia Nahida variation. So I think there's some shenanigans to be had.
Excuse me? Way ahead.
No.
Midnight Venta.
Oh my god, good lord.
Let's nip that in the butt.
I don't know why this team feels really awkward to play for some reason right now.
Hey, the Temple of Wisdom.
I blame the Kinkies.
Oh, reveal thyself. This realm is no home for a princess.
Okay. Now that I don't have Kirara or Baiju, Official's just dying. Official is also a squishy character. Official's not a non-fielder, so she usually dies less. Usually.
By royal decree.
I didn't tag the one. God dang, God freaking dang.
Here's the space.
Not lined up. Oh my god. No.
Midnight Phantasmagoria. Everyone hold hands.
I'll uproot you.
Obviously, this team is with Tighnari and Sethos paired together. Like Sethos can have a little bit of AoE damage, but man, it's really weird because like once. Okay, so here, let's. Oh my god, no, you buttholes. All right, 1, 2.
The sun sets.
Okay, not gonna lie, I kind of want to just replace Nahida with Kirara. Well, no, probably with Baiju, but like, bleh. Yeah. Anyway, this is the higher damage version, but like, so let's do something like this. No, oh my god, Jesus Christ. Turns out Maga Kankis with just Nahida on Prototype Amber. A little bit more difficult. Alright, all at the same time. Nari, the frick away. 1, 2, 3. You.
Excuse me.
You.
The Temple of Wisdom.
No rest for the one with the force. I'll uproot you.
Oh my god, no. No! Jesus! Ugh. So annoying.
Sharing my knowledge.
Oh my god, no. No, no, no. Like, it's not bad. Again, like, that wasn't great, especially when you factor in, like, the time increase. Like, that was 50 seconds, right? But, like, if you add, like, the 20 seconds, heck, add 30 seconds, right? That was a minute. If you add 30 seconds, which I think is probably more than you need to add to account for C2 Nahida, we're talking a minute and 20 seconds. That's still, like, very much within the realm of clearing Abyss. Although this, I would say that the second half is a little bit more time wasty, so it is ideal to clear the first half faster.
Emerge. Right here. Emerge.
I did an E. Whoops.
Everybody stand. Justice will prevail. Stop right.
No, of course. No, that's it. No, I really should attack you first.
Show them. Right now. You went for it. Going in.
And again, the Magukeki situation was not ideal at all for that team, because Tighnari is Sethos. Like, Tighnari is a much more single target focused character. Well, no, like, completely single target focused character. He just doesn't, like, do basically any AoE damage.
Right here. Right here.
Which is a relevant factor
Gonna hurt in the morning.
to consider.
Drop your weapons.
Recently binge watch your Polar Moldy videos. Will you do similar challenges in the future? If I do, they're gonna be not as long running series. Essentially, I am still considering doing a rectifier only, which I should probably decide this week if I want to do that. Considering on Wuthering Waves, it might be on a separate channel though. But you know, join the Discord, I guess, if you wanna. If it is on a separate channel, I'll notify the Discord, and I'll probably link it in a community post or something if I do make a second channel. But yeah, I don't know. Like it takes so much time to do those, and I don't really think they're that interesting anymore. Like, they're kind of the same every time you do them, just with very slight differences. I need my energy. Thank you. Okay. Alright, get through the shield official, please. Please. Or not. Healing effectiveness. We'll take healing effectiveness.
Way ahead.
I see everything.
Some healing going for Tighnari. Generate your shield.
By royal decree.
Flowers have.
Bro!
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be honest. If you're gonna play this team variation, if you have Zhongli, probably just play Zhongli instead of Nahida.
Oz, reveal thyself. Okay, pretty little. Make yourself a room.
Give me some space.
No energy.
As you wish me. I hear everything.
What? Did that shot just miss?
Sharing my knowledge.
No rest for the wicked. Way ahead.
Oh no 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 no.
And shroud. I'll uproot you.
The Temple of Wisdom.
Sethos is dead. Oh my.
Phantasmagoria.
I didn't see him die. Okay. He be a squish. Yeah, I can't say I recommend, at least in this current Abyss.
Nip that in the butt.
I can't say I recommend
Excuse me.
this. Oh, no. No, 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 no. Stop it. Stop it. Okay, alright, yep, yep, yep. Bro, no. Okay, can we get some, like, Electro application happening here? Also have cryo on me again, so, you know, yay for the cryo abyss where you just never have stamina. So if you dare try to be someone like me who wants to dash occasionally, no, you just get effed and you get hit. You know, cryo is my most hated element for enemies to apply to you if it's not obvious. And that's because I tend to not like shielders and I like to dodge. Layla fine as a non-jungly ever. I haven't played her that much as a shielder to be completely clear, so like I don't like shielders enough, but like a highly invested Layla will be similar shielding experience to what like Kirara has been. In the context of this enemy that is doing a meaningful amount of cryo damage, Layla should actually be a lot better than Kirara as far as the ability to shield and absorb damage, because element shields, like cryo shield from Layla, absorbs more cryo damage, like it's 250% tankier against cryo damage. So many ninjas, welcome to my bosses. Thank you for joining. I actually intend to have the most minor of member exclusive videos that I will hopefully post this week, and maybe.
By Royal, committed to memory.
One with the force. Let's nip that in the bud.
Sharing my knowledge. Wings of darkness.
Oh my god. No, 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 I just wanted to get... Okay.
I hear everything.
Aw, frick. Done that a little bit better. No, Fischl died, didn't she? Yeah. Have you tried Sethos Overload? I did in the previous live stream. It's fine. It works. It's not dysfunctional, but like he really doesn't get any damage unless you're doing Bennett. And you're talking, you know, damage that's the same damage he gets as in an aggravate team, but with Bennett you have circle impact and the team around him is worse. So I don't know, like if you're doing Bennett, Xiangling, Chevreuse, like yeah, Bennett, Xiangling's a good combo. Chevreuse does Chevreuse things, and then you do Sethos on the build like I am doing, where you can have more field time on him, you can get extra charge attacks or extra application note. I think it's not bad actually, but like I guess it might actually be better than Chlorand and Shiver's Overload. But I don't know. You really want some amount of off-field pyro, and like chances are most people are gonna want Toma instead of like Xiangling or Bennett in a Chevreuse team. And losing Xiangling or Bennett is a pretty bad thing as far as like the team's DPS. So like, what do you do for defensive utility? That's a problem that Chevreuse teams have a lot, and that's why I think Chevreuse C6 is the most valuable. The most valuable part of Chevreuse C6 is not the damage bonus; it is the fact that she becomes a team-wide healer, right? Which makes it a lot more doable to rely on just Chevreuse to keep your team alive, right? Because she does good on-field healing and does some team-wide healing to keep, like, to top up your Tighnari when he's almost dead. Tighnari's not in a Chevreuse team, because I'm using Tighnari as an example because he's almost dead here. So, you know, like Chevreuse C6 is like giving Chevreuse prototype Amber healing like Manahita has here. Come on. But also, oh, okay, but also she has her single target healing, right? Like I think C6 Chevreuse is most valuable as a defensive constellation. Toma stocks keep rising? Not really. The problem is like Toma, you're sacrificing Bennett or Xiangling. Like that ginormously hurts the team's performance. Like the numbers you will see from Sethos themselves are not crazily different from Aggravate because of the layers of buffs you can have in a Chevreuse team. But the actual team around him is going to be much worse because like this team, for example, is doing things with Fischl and Nahida's damage. The teams I was doing before was doing Fischl's and Furina's damage and Hyper Bloom damage. Like you don't have the same reaction engine going, right? That his kit actually takes advantage of. So you're really not making use of Sethos' kit properly in a Chevre's team. I would consider doing it if I had C6 Chevres, basically, because I don't have Toma leveled even to try Toma. So it's just like there's no circumstance for me where like I actually enjoy it on my account at this moment in time.
Let's nip that in the bud.
Hey, the Temple of Wisdom. Midnight Phantasmagoria.
In plot hole, God. Bro, Fischl, why have you not gotten the shield? Like, I probably needed to do charge shots on Sethos, to be clear. I just thought Fischl would get through it in the time that I was taking.
Can't see. Where you heading?
Oh, no. Let's just try to actually kill this. Like, the damage is fine. It's just we're 100% just facing ow issues. Ow issues. So anyway, I don't know. Like, I think this team conceptually works. It just is not the ideal abyss for it without a defensive unit. And realistically, I would replace Nahida in this team with a shielder, like with a shielder or a healer. So like in my case, it'd probably be Baiju. Would make this team feel probably good, but obviously the team damage is going to go down a lot, like a lot, especially factoring my C2 Nahida, right? But here, let's just show against the Kinkies. This also does open up the instead of doing Fischl, I think this actually might be a team variant. If you're doing quick swap Sethos, there might be an argument, I think, for doing like this format of a team, doing Baiju, Sethos, Tighnari, and doing Furina instead of Fischl, right? You could do Marsha, say Hunters and Sethos then, and then you can, have Furina's damage, and you have the blooms going on that you can trigger with Sethos as well. Like, I think there's a compelling argument, actually, for this to be a rare case to detach Fischl from Sethos if you're doing, like, some quick swap stuff, right? I think Emily will make Dia relevant. I don't think there's really anything about Emily that makes Dia that relevant, to be completely honest. No. It's like Dia won't be an irrelevant potential teammate for Emily, but I'll try to think more about that for tomorrow's stream. I don't know why I decided to faff about for a second there, but don't worry about it. What I probably should do, by the way, to optimize this play, is figuring out some mix of figuring out some mix of how many like can I like switch to Tighnari, right, while I'm doing, like, switch to Tighnari, do his skill quick, switch to Sethos, do Sethos charge attacks, get 3 charge attacks out on Tighnari. Oh my god. Like, you see his cooldown is at 1.7 seconds. I almost got, before I died, I almost got 3 charge attacks out. Then I could do Tighnari skill again, get another 3 charge attacks, like get 6 charge attacks on Tighnari if I, like, kind of optimally sequence skills in certain ways. That's one of the advantages of, like, things you can do with Tighnari that I think are really fun. And Sethos, by nature of, like, just having a short field time requirement, I think there's room for, like, some skill optimization here, essentially, in timing different things, which is really cool.
A bitter pill to swallow. Taking a turn for the better.
So something like put this down, do Tighnari, do you, 1, 2, 3, do that, do this. I actually didn't do oh my god, didn't need to do official again. Heal me. Heal me. Do that.
Let's nip that in the bud.
Do another skill. Ow. Die. 1, 2.
I'm not finished.
Like I said, die. But you get the point, right? Like that actually kind of worked, and then I would like swap to Sethos again. I don't know. This is definitely a weird team that has some room for like optimizing timing of a number of different things. But it's just something that it's just an example of, I think, what makes Sethos an interesting character, right? Is quick swappy potential. I didn't Tighnari skill there, so in this instance I am just going to do 3. What? Oh, I could have sworn I had skilled at least once on him, but
Keep up. As you wish, main Fräulein. Way ahead.
okay, well, things went wrong there.
Help comes first.
God. Okay,
One thing
Kenkies are still annoying. Go figure. Especially when you have a single target focused damage dealing team. So, anyways, yeah, it's pretty obvious the team damage is obviously worse, right? Duh. Without Nahida. So, before I end the stream, because I do think my friends are waiting on me. Yeah, they definitely are. Also, my second timer went off. So, end the stream as soon as I finish this next thing here. We're just going to do. Okay, I should switch Dia's build for this, but we're gonna do just on a conceptual basis. And again, C2 Nahida will make a difference here. We're gonna do Sethos, Fischl, Nahida, Dia, and the idea here is get a little bit of burning, get some overload damage going, and like Dia should probably be on instructors, in this build. Right, so this is a team idea wherein I should be doing like the bursting, and either charge attack spam or bursting sequence again. Oh frick, that actually means that actually means he needs an ER type piece. So redo. So this is another team concept that works with high ER build, right? So 184 ER, right? No.
So if I leave the door unlocked, it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just going up.
Sorry, I was talking to someone. So your C2 Dia will see me in the shell. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying this is going to be super good, but I think it's interesting in that Dia can provide interruption resistance, make Sethos more tanky because she's going to absorb damage for him. And then the burning, right, will not be doing, like, the burning damage itself is not the main relevant thing going on here, but it's more official reactions, should still be able to get aggravates, right? Like, it's interesting. It's interesting to flex in Dia instead of like a shielder conceptually here, basically, right? Oh my god, bro. Look at the 12k overloads, right? Okay. It's not on a level of tankiness that I'd say makes it super survivable, but I was also definitely trying to like eat a lot of damage on purpose. No. Alright, he's dead.
As you wish, me. Excuse me. On you.
And the overload damage is not nothing. Like, what was that? That was 1 minute and 10 seconds? I don't know. That's really interesting. Like, I'm not gonna say it's really good, but that like felt easier as far as like survivability went. Like, I definitely noticed. Let's I suppose we can remove. Well, no, we're not even using burst on Sethos, so that's not even making that much of a difference. It's just restoring like Nahida and Fischl. So like, I don't know, right? And let's try the getting hit by with Dia. Let's try the burst playstyle, right? So we'll do E and Q and 1, 2, 1, 2.
Midnight Phantasm.
Everyone hold hands. The Temple of Wisdom. Let's get it on.
Sage's wisdom. Excuse me. Way ahead.
Good, Bender, so I'll shoot you.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
And C2 Nahida is doing some work here, obviously, again.
Grow.
Well,
Make yourselves at home. Buckle up. Shadow Raven.
Excuse me. I'll lock one.
can I aim? Oh, the burst was still up, that's why. Like, it works. It works. Now, how much worse is it without C2 Nahida? This one is a one that's hard to evaluate again, right? Like it's not, she's not buffing Dia's damage that much, but she is buffing Fischl's and Sethos' damage significantly. And Nahida's also buffing her own damage significantly here. So I don't know. It's hard. This is another team where it's hard to evaluate C2 Nahida. I would really like to be able to turn it off. Like, honestly, the next time Nahida runs, I'm probably going to make a I regret C2 Nahida more than Yelan. Like, I wouldn't regret C2 Nahida, to be clear. If it weren't for the fact that I'm making content, and I'm making content that, like, I'm trying to show things that are possible in the game. But, like, C2 Nahida is one of those things, like, just makes too much of a difference sometimes that I can't. I basically either have to abuse it or try to not use Nahida at all in some contexts. With Electro. It's her defense shred that's making the most difference most of the time. So, like it's a very good constellation. I'm not saying people shouldn't get it. But from a content creation's perspective, where I'm trying to like show things that are at least somewhat approachable, as like obviously I do very high investment things in Genshin, right? Because that's what I enjoy about Genshin, is doing high investment 4-star builds, right? Like this one. But I wanted to show things that are approachable, like doing Dia official Nahida Sethos together is approachable with, you know, a Thundering Fury build. It's very much an approachable thing you can do. But C2's Nahida's inclusion makes it a little bit less approachable as far as the performance you see. And how much worse does this team feel without C2 Nahida? Probably worse enough that it's a lot harder to recommend it, right? And it's cool that C2 Nahida makes enough of a difference to make, like that's why I like C2 Nahida in the baseline of it, increasing the performance of certain like teams to make less optimal teams function enough that you can clear content. That's what I enjoy it for. So I enjoy it for teams like this, but at the same time, it makes it harder to recommend teams like this. So, you know.
Let's get it on. Ha! Oz revealed. I see everything. The Temple of Wisdom.
Way ahead.
I should have bursted first.
Excuse me.
Can't aim because I wasn't quite done with the burst.
Grandfather.
I did not realize I was on the edge of the circle there. Okay. I think that's it for the stream. I gotta go talk to me friends. We're gonna probably play a video game that isn't Genshin. Crazy. I do play games that aren't Genshin. We'll probably stream talking about Emily tomorrow. A lot in the context of polearms only, but also in the context in general. Because I think polearms only is a case of actually showing how Emily can be a pretty useful unit in the same vein of like improving teams that, you know, weren't as good before. That's what she has, some niches where I think she'll make team concepts that most of the time people wouldn't have considered doing. Let's say Hu Tao with Emily. Like I think Hu Tao with Emily is going to be better than I was doing with Mono Power Hu Tao before on polearms only. But that's because like polearms only doesn't have Kazuha. Whereas if you're doing Mono Power Hu Tao with a Kazuha on a normal account, it's probably better than doing Burning Emily, I think. But there's still advantages to like diversifying the team damage between Emily and Hu Tao in a burning Hu Tao mono pyro composition. Right, you get the point. So I'm going to discuss that kind of thing tomorrow, basically. Emily has interesting things like that. Like I want to emphasize, I don't hate the character. I just kind of hate some of the specific decisions they've made for the character because I think the character could be so much more interesting with pretty simple changes, which I don't think they're going to do. So, anywho's, if I couldn't use polearms only, which kind would you prefer? I think the most interesting one to have, like, if I could just like snap my fingers and magically have another only weapon account that was as invested as polearms only is, it would be swords. Just because swords has enough smattering of good characters, but also like a number of characters that like are kind of awkward to use. Like how good can you make a Nilu team in swords only? I haven't really properly thought about that. Probably pretty decent actually, but it would be interesting to see how easy it is, because I think like polearms only is at the point where like I think it's not hard for me to clear any Abyss content, right? I think it'd be interesting to see a swords only account that was as invested and focused on being able to clear endgame content as my polearm only account is all, because I think it would be easier, but easier in a way that isn't like completely objectively easier. I don't know. Like it has enough interesting options and strong characters that would be interesting to mess around with, right? Other than that, I think spells, it'd be swords or spells, swords or catalysts, right? So, anywho's, at least with the Elan and Furina, you can just nerf their damage. You can't really do anything about Nahia C2. Yeah, yes, you're completely right, Miracle Tokakis, because I'm gonna go back to my. I do really like this team for Overworld. It's a very nice, simple Overworld team. Shanyun is just here for movement, for literally nothing else. But then Kirara smack, and then Sethos. Well, he didn't have enough energy, but you know, just spamming charge attacks, and it feels pretty good. Yep. Anywho's, I really like Sethos. This is probably the last video I'm making about him, realistically. I think I have explored near the limits of the things he can do in the content I've made, at least like some variation of different things. I really like this character, is all I can say. I am surprised I like him as much as I did. Like, I went into him thinking that the same things most content creators were thinking, and after I used him, realized there's way more creative uses for him than I thought there would be, just by reconceptualizing how you think about energy recharge on a character. And he feels like such a different character to play when you conceptualize that. But of course, he still has like interesting things like his quick swap playstyle, blah 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 blah. Yeah, like I'm not joking that I think this character is better than Chlorand, in that he's better because I think he's more fun, and I'm crazily enough, I pull for characters and play this video game to have fun. So if he's more fun, he's more better to me. And yep, bye bye.